Thinking about Pinterest ads? Here's what you have to know. Pinterest is my #1 source of referral traffic for my site. Pinterest is amazing regardless of what industry you're in. As long as you're not in I don't know, automotive sales or something really random that is hard to sell on Pinterest. But even if it's marketing, if it's business, if it's lifestyle, if it's beauty, all these different things, Pinterest is a gold mine. There's a lot of really great quality traffic that can come from Pinterest. With the coming of Pinterest ads and more people starting to use Pinterest ads, I've noticed that there's a lot of Pinterest ads or sponsored pins, what they call them, that are not necessarily optimized, and they honestly shouldn't be sponsored. And because this is a common question I'm getting, when should I actually use Pinterest ads or sponsored pins? So there's two things that you have to look at. #1 is the pin itself. #2, where you're driving that traffic. When it comes to the pin itself, there's two things that you have to look at. You have to make sure that the pin you are potentially thinking about putting some money and budget behind, it's actually a very engaging and eye-catching pin. So what I mean by that, it's high contrast, it's bright, it's colorful, it's vertical, all the different things that really creates an engaging and attention-grabbing pin. You've got to make sure that your pin that you're potentially thinking about putting some money behind is going to naturally capture people's attention, and it's not just going to be lost in the sea of all the other pins that are currently being seen on people's feeds. #2 is make sure that the pin you're thinking about sponsoring is actually getting organic engagement already. So that means people are repinning the graphic, they're liking it, they're commenting on it, or it's driving traffic already. So you have to make sure that you're not just boosting or sponsoring random pins that nobody's really engaging with, because that shows that it's probably not gonna go very far even when you put some dollars behind it. So you have to make sure that the pin you're thinking about sponsoring actually makes sense and it's going to get you the biggest bang for your buck when it comes to traffic and engagement. That's when it comes to the pin. Now, you have to also make sure that you're thinking about where you're directing people to. So I'm not gonna get into the whole guidelines of Pinterest advertising and things like that, but you have to make sure that the page you're sending people to from that pin is, first of all, it can't be a landing page, it can't be a squeeze page because Pinterest is not gonna allow you to sponsor that. That's a side note. But the thing that you have to make sure is there's actually really engaging content on that site, and it's something that people would want to engage with regardless. So if somebody was to land on that page, on that blog post or whatever, they would naturally want to sign up for the next step, and they would naturally want to take the next step that is in your sales funnel. The second thing is you have to make sure that the page that you're sending people to has a very, very clear next step and it's optimized for conversion. I don't recommend sending people to a sales page. I don't recommend sending people to anything that requires people to make a really big decision right away. You should only do sponsored pins if the page you're sending the traffic to has really valuable content and then has the next step as building your email list, because we all know by now that sales happen in the email list. That's how the social funnel looks like. So the next step for you when you're driving people from Pinterest to a page has to be to get people onto the email list. Not to buy a product, not to like you on Facebook, it's to get onto your email list. So you have to make sure that the page you're sending people to has a very, very clear next step, and it's not something they have to think about or they don't have to go and search for it. It's right there, it's very easily integrated into posts, and it's very relevant to what the pin was about in the first place. That's how you're gonna make sure that you're getting conversions, you're getting leads, and you're able to close them through the email sequence that you have implemented afterwards. So those are my tips. If your pin is not engaging and the page you're sending traffic to is not optimized for conversion, don't waste money on Pinterest ads. Make sure you have all these different pieces in place first before you go spending the dollar bills on stuff that isn't gonna bring you any results, okay? So if you have these two things in place, your traffic is gonna go up quite a lot. My name is Kamila Gornia. I'm a digital marketing strategist for modern entrepreneurs who want to get seen and get paid online for doing what they freaking love so they can really blow up the internet with their brand and become the leader in their space. And if you like this video and you want more online marketing and business tips and strategies and videos, make sure that you follow me, get on the Insiders Club email list so you get more really cool updates, really awesome stuff, and we can continue talking and you can continue growing your business and doing so successfully. We release a new video every Wednesday, so make sure you stay tuned, and I'll talk to you very soon. Until then, stay awesome.